So I made a short video that talked about bride price payment and how Nigeria recognizes three kinds of marriages, and I got a lot of reactions from that video, hence my present video. I mean, that is why I'm making this video, to respond to the reactions I got from that video. And one of the reactions that I got was that you have told us the marriages that our Matrimonial Causes Act recognized as valid marriages in Nigeria. Which one is not recognized as a valid marriage in Nigeria? Now, I'm going to discuss marriages that we celebrate in Nigeria, but they are actually not recognized by our laws. Yes, they are not recognized by our laws, and because somebody started it and we just continued, does not mean that because it is prevalent, it is lawful. Those marriages are unlawful. They are not recognized by our laws. And one of them is what we call church wedding. Church wedding. Now, let me explain this. The Matrimonial Causes Act says that marriages under the act, that are statutory weddings, should be conducted either at the marriage registry or a licensed place of worship. The Matrimonial Causes Act provides that statutory wedding, what we call court wedding. I hope you know that no marriage in Nigeria is conducted in any court in Nigeria. The court is not a venue for celebration of any marriage. No court conducts marriage in Nigeria. No judge conducts marriage. That is not one of the responsibilities of a judge, to conduct marriages. These marriages that we call court wedding, they are actually conducted at the marriage registry. Marriage registries in Nigeria are either at the federal level, that's the one at the FCT, and then different states and local governments have marriage registries where marriages can be conducted, statutory weddings can be conducted. Now, those registries now license some churches to conduct marriages. Churches that apply to say that we want to be licensed, they will give them certain criteria to meet, and these churches, when they have met those criteria, they will be licensed. One of the things that will be given to the church is what we call the marriage voucher, that contains prototypes or copies of marriage certificates that should be issued to couples whenever they have conducted their marriages in those licensed churches. So this means that the certificates that are given to you by a church, the marriage certificate that is given to you by a church that is licensed to conduct marriages in Nigeria, and the one that is given to you by the registry, they are the same thing. If you look at them, they are the same in form and in content. The difference is just in the names of the parties to the marriage. So if you have a marriage certificate that is not equivalent or that is not the same with a marriage certificate that emanated from the marriage registry, that marriage certificate was conducted by a church that is not licensed to conduct marriages in Nigeria, and that marriage is not recognized by our laws. Yes, because it is conducted by a church that is not licensed, is not recognized by our laws. And the implication is that no court will recognize that marriage certificate, no embassy will recognize that marriage certificate. You are just holding a very beautiful, worthless piece of paper. Yes. So in order to regularize your position, it's either you go to a church that is licensed to conduct marriages, or you go to the registry, marriage registry, to conduct a valid statutory wedding. So the three marriages or valid marriages in Nigeria, as is recognized by our laws, is the statutory marriage, the customary marriage and the Islamic marriage. If your marriage does not fall under any of these, you have invariably contracted an invalid marriage with respect to our laws. So churches, I don't know all the churches that are licensed, but I can decipher from the document that is being issued. If the marriage certificate that is being issued is not in tandem with the marriage certificate that emanated from the marriage registry, then that church is not licensed to conduct marriages in Nigeria. I hope I've answered the question as to the marriage that we conduct in Nigeria that is not recognized by our laws, and the one that is recognized. Thank you very much for having me. If you found this very helpful, please kindly subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.